What's up, guys? How are y'all doing tonight? Happy Wednesday, Women Wednesday, Wealthy Wednesday, Wife Wednesday. What's up? Where you got the remote? What's up? How's everybody doing today? Hey y'all, what's up? We are live on YouTube, the family, the Barker family. We're live on Instagram and Facebook. What's up, guys? What's up? We're gonna just jump right in. We do not own the rights to this music. You wanna just make it a club? Is that how you feeling?
No.
Tag your friends, tag your spouse. Let's get on. If you're not with them right now, put them on. And of course, we don't own the rights to this. We don't want any fights or arguments. I don't really like this loud like that because I feel like I'm yelling.
It's alright. You're not yelling.
Just can you lower it, please? That'll be great. Thank you.
Do you have a negative spouse?
Do you? Because, man. And, we're going to jump right in.
Hey, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is a good topic right here. We really came across this topic because we understand that a lot of marriages are going through this.
You might got to talk louder or lower the volume, sweetie pie, because it's just rude. Smile, guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
Everybody checking in.
Where y'all checking in from? Tag your location. And maybe we don't want you to answer if you're the negative spouse or if your husband or wife is the negative one. We don't want pointing fingers. However, this should be a discussion. This should be a conversation. This should be it should be brought up. I feel like if one of the spouses is a little bit negative or a lot more and it's causing friction in your marriage, I do feel like it should be brought up. I really do. Like, I think you should, have a nice conversation, or even like tonight, maybe what we're discussing, I don't want y'all to be putting us in the mix. Like, well, Jennifer said this or Brandon said that. We don't want it to be an argument. We don't want to bring up any issues. We want to renew. We want to reconcile. But before we jump in, let's do, what are you grateful for?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm asking you.
Oh. I'm grateful for this beautiful thing right here. Okay. This little beautiful thing.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm also grateful for God, my family, my kids, my health, my wealth.
Okay, just one.
Okay.
Me was enough.
All right. Go ahead. What else?
I'm just kidding, because everything is one, right? Yeah. All those things. I am grateful for
Wow.
I don't know what I'm grateful for, babe. I said you last week first. I don't want to say you first again. But I am grateful for the wisdom that I have been learning to improve our marriage.
Yes.
That's one big thing. Like, I really am grateful for the wisdom that we've been learning, that I've been implementing, that I've been applying, for like us working out together. Even though like today I was like not having it, but I did it. And I did take my power nap. It was like literally 10 minutes because I heard the kids doing everything. But it was good. I enjoyed the help that you did. So,
listen, you ready to jump back in? You want to go with your notes and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, let me talk about one thing right quick, okay. Right? So this conversation is about...
Should I tag some people? No, sir.
You can tag whoever. But look, this conversation, like Jen said, it's not meant to like poke at each other or saying who's the negative one in the relationship, which you probably know that. You don't have to say nothing about it. But
so this is a disclosure.
This is disclosure, right? And so I was actually writing down in my notes about relationships are supposed to be balanced, right? Mm-hmm. Balanced. And that doesn't mean that somebody's good and the other person bad. A lot of people get that misunderstood, or like, I might have good attributes and she might have bad attributes. That's not the balance we're talking about in a relationship. The balance we're talking about is where I lack in something in the relationship, she is much stronger in, and she can help me build up to the point where I'm self-dependent on where I lack.
I like that.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, so
Brandon getting deep already. We're not even in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I give you an example, which I did this, right? I give you an example. So I'm gonna just give an example that we'll go through. Right? Jen is not really a morning person.
I wasn't
a morning person. Yeah, we're gonna change that word. She wasn't really a morning person, right? So she started her morning routine. Me, I've been a morning person.
5 a.m. Let's clarify this.
Yes, I've been a morning person, so I get up at 4 a.m., right?
So, okay, let me speak on this really quick. I'm going to defend myself on the aspect of not waking up, being a morning person. So I grew up, okay, we all wake up early, right, for school. When you're in kindergarten, your grammar, elementary, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like, man, I want to sleep in. I enjoyed sleeping in. So I said, I'm going to get this great career. I'm going to have my own businesses that I can sleep in. That was my mindset. I thought I got my money, my business, my careers. I'm going to sleep in. So I was able to kind of do that. Like, I don't have to, and sleeping in is like 7 o'clock. It's not 9, 10 o'clock. So that's another thing we want to say. Okay. I'm clearing that out. I'm not like this lazy wife that gets up at 10, 11. No. But with Brandon, I feel like you kind of almost didn't really have a choice because the career you have, your schedule is 6, 7 o'clock at a certain location. So I think if you did have an option though, it wouldn't be all the time 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So go ahead, side note.
Okay, so I get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and go through my morning routine, right? And so we wanted to start implicating a new morning routine. And so with Jen, what I started doing is, at the time, she wasn't a morning person, so I knew that the way I had to wake her up had to be in a delightful way. Just already because of the fact that she's not a morning person.
Delightful, y'all see that?
Yes, delightful way. So I woke her up with kisses, right?
And I love, if you guys have been watching our journey, I love kisses. One of my love languages is touch. So go ahead.
So I wake up with
so
kisses.
I'll be like, yes.
And so what I'm doing is I'm giving her good energy, good vibes to go ahead and get her day started throughout the day, right? So I'm doing that. And then so she started waking up. I'm bringing her a glass of water so she can put the water, the first thing she put in her body, not no coffee or anything. So she's cleaning her body. And I put in an analogy, y'all probably heard me tell her before. I said, it's like giving your insides a shower. And when she thought about that, she was like, oh, that is neat. That even connected the two dots right there. And she was like, oh, I'm going to start drinking my water in the morning, get my mind right, I'm relaxed, whatever. So I consistently kept doing that.
What does delightful mean, babe? You said I want her to wake up and feel delightful, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking it up, and I'm learning this through my mentor to look up words, which is pretty cool. It says delightful is charming. Another synonym will be very pleasant, lovely, greatly to one's liking, very agreeable, pleasurable, enjoyable, amusing, entertaining, and it goes on and on.
Marvelous.
So, marvelous. So imagine being greeted in a delightful way. You have no other choice but to wake up feeling delighted, right? You're gonna be amazed. You're gonna be I like enjoy. I like enjoyable and lovely. Sometimes I'd be like, do you have to do your morning routine? Like, do you want to include another morning routine in there? So go ahead.
So with that, I did that, but it came to a point in time where she had to be self-dependent.
Ask him how many days, guys. It was like 2 days.
No,
he acted like it was a whole week or two that he was delightful with water and stuff.
No.
It was 2 days that he was.
No.
He's been delightful with the kisses daily still, but the water and stuff like that, he was like, nah, get up and get your own.
Yeah, because see now I gotta.
But it was just 2 days though. He should have used it a few days.
I got you like 4 days.
No, I was already up and then you got it. But I'm talking about like waking me up, kisses in the water was maybe 2.
Yeah, okay.
So I was like, David, you can't bring me no water no more?
Yeah. So because then she was just like, okay, I love the kisses and
And the water. Give it to me.
So I needed her to have a reason to get up out the bed and also do her gratefulness and stuff like that.
Which was good.
So that was something that she ended up doing on her own, and now she does that on a regular. So now she wakes up at 5 on the regular because now she is self-dependent. So that's what I mean by balance each other. Mm-hmm. That was just an example.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump right in because it's already, you know me, I'm about the time, guys. I like to be consistent. So, you guys saw my post earlier. Some people might not have liked it. It's all good though. It said, marriage without a negative mind. I'm sorry. You can't have a positive marriage with a negative mind. So you cannot have a positive marriage. And then when I read this, I was like, man, this is so good. And it says, not just in, well, this is what I was like dissecting. It said, so I figured out not just in marriage, but you can't have a negative mind in yourself, in the aspect of unity, in the aspect of religion. You can't have a negative mind in all these little bits and parts because all this is going to reflect back in your marriage.
Correct.
So the way I talked to one of my girlfriends and I was like, man, this is so good. We were talking and she gave me this great analogy, which I hope we got it right, but it sounded good. You guys know like batteries, right? Like with the car. Is it negative or negative, positive, positive? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we wanted to make sure that was right before I said it. So the picture we had was, think about the batteries, like even with cars. You go with the red and the red, the blue and the blue. You're not going to put the red and the blue, which is the negative partner, and the positive partner. You're not going to put the batteries together because what happens?
That pretty much blows it up.
It blows it up. It sparks. It just won't work. It's not going to connect. It messes up your car. So put that on to the perspective of marriage. It's not going to work out together. You guys might explode like the vehicle. You might get into arguments. You just don't match. It won't charge up.
Right.
And you need the marriage. I think about it like that. The marriage has to be fueled, like the gas, like with cars. Like you have to put fuel in us, like one to each other. It's kind of like filling up each other's cup in the marriage. And if you have those two negatives, like a negative and a positive, you're not feeling it, right? So we thought about that. And then we mentioned you have to create and manifest a good reality. Now that's real deep, right? Some people, it might have went over your heads, but if one person is being negative, you have to be the person that you're creating the positive. You're manifesting the good, because what you create is going to happen.
It's going to be a reality.
Right? And I want you guys to understand when I say this, babe, like I want people to get like what you want in your marriage, you're speaking it, you're saying it. There was a time, and I put a post yesterday, I think it was. I said, what you have today is something you once prayed for. Mm-hmm. So there's people on here, I want you guys to know that.
Or thought about. So the way your marriage is, you thought about this.
I'm not sure if you prayed about it, but there's a cause and effect. Mm-hmm. So there's always a reaction to whatever is happening. So my thing is, I wanted to explain, and maybe babe, you can help us out, is what does it mean to be a negative spouse?
So pretty much to be a negative spouse is pretty much to, I say, in my eyes, is to disagree with anything that you say. Anything that you have to say, we don't see eye to eye on it. Mm-hmm. It could be, and it don't even have to be, it could be something simple. And I always got a rebuttal.
I feel like when I think negative spouse, I'm thinking about life. Like you're just negative Nancy. Like I want to be like, babe, let's go on this trip. Why we got to go there? Why are we doing that? Why we need to do this?
We don't have the money for this.
We don't have the money. We can't do it. It's always
an excuse.
Kind of like an excuse, like you said, a rebuttal. It's always the like you guys like you said, the balance, and then the negative person unbalances, and it's like, wait, but why can't we go on this trip? Oh well, we don't have this. We can't do this, and you just keep throwing it. So it's like, okay, and this is what I put down for solutions. So now, as the other partner, what am I gonna do? If you're the one that's always throwing the hook on, you always see the negative in something. Always see the bad part. And that's another thing about the negative spouse. And I want us to come together with this. Remember, this is not a night of argument. This is not to cause issues. We want to bring the power, the encouragement. We want to lift you guys up because at the end of the day, sometimes the negative person might not even realize that they're the negative person.
And that's because they've been so accustomed to the way they speak.
They don't even realize it.
They don't even realize
like,
it.
Have you ever been around somebody, and this is not even your spouse, okay? Let's not do the spouse. Have you ever been around somebody that they're always complaining? Always like, man, this didn't go right. Man, this didn't work out. Man, I'm not going here. I'm not doing this. And you just like, what is happening? Like, why?
Right.
Like, did you not wake up today? Do you not have a job? Like, are you not thinking of the grateful things you do have in your life?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as the spouse, if you do have a person like that, you're gonna be the person right here that says you're creating the good part in life. You're letting them know, like the vacation example. Oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. Well, okay, babe, so what can we do to have that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Finding a solution.
Well, I always got to work.
Okay, well, let's work a plan to get you some kind of vacation time.
When am I going to do that? Because I can't. I'm paying all the bills.
No, we can figure it out. We're going to work out a budget plan. Like,
you always say that.
So I'm the spouse that would sit down and be like, no, we're not. We're going to sit down. We're going to go through the steps. And I don't know about you guys, but we call each other out. And it's okay. Like, this is your partner. This is your best friend. This is your life. Like, this is, I believe, you should be able to call them out in a nice, polite way. Like, don't be rude because it can hurt. Like, Brandon sometimes be harsh. And I'm like, that was not nice. That was kind of rude. And he'd be like, well, he's getting better. You're getting better. And he'll be like, oh, my bad. Like, I didn't mean to come out like that. But we tell each other, like, what are you doing? Like, you're just being so negative. And then now, this is Brandon's, like, favorite key phrase. What am I going to say?
I'm not liking your energy.
He's not liking my energy. And I know that's a hint for you're bringing in that negative vibe. So it's okay to talk to your spouse. Now, I would say and I would recommend if your spouse does not understand the verbiage, sit down with them and talk and be like, you know what? Let's go over key ways that we can work on us talking more positive to each other. Or if you don't want to use positive or negative, say talking better. Because some words are triggers, especially if they're have certain attitudes. You know, it could be triggers. Because I used to be like that. I used to be like, what do you mean I'm being negative? And Brandon be like, geez, cut me with a knife. You know, and I didn't understand that until he would sit down with me and talk to me like, hey, babe, can you be a little bit nicer about this? Can you talk to me about that? So make sure you talk to your spouse and let him know. Put him on some positive affirmations. Put them on. Like, what if your spouse has never, like Brandon said, what if your spouse has never been in a positive environment? Let's be realistic.
Or that's what they seen in their household growing up.
Yeah, the environment. Let's say they that's how they grew up.
They saw their parents always arguing.
Like, for example, sorry, babe.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like for me, right, where the town I was raised wasn't the most positive. The environment, you know, and some of you might not know my background, but, you know, I am from Connecticut. I'm from Bridgeport, which is not, you know, the best, like, town to brag on. It's like some kind of violence, you know, crazy town. But that's where I was born. That's where I was raised. You know, I love where I'm from. However, I was raised in the projects, you know, so I did see, to me at that time, it was normal, you know, growing up in certain bad situations, seeing certain things. But if you know that area, and if you're from a certain side of town, we were okay. Me and my family, we were always okay because our neighbors, we always took care of each other. But thank God, in our home, we saw the positiveness, the good attitudes, happy family, blah, 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 because the outside wasn't the best. So what if there's that person, your spouse, you're coming from two different backgrounds, they had a whole negative environment, a negative house, parents probably yelling, arguing, always, you don't do this, you don't do that, why you not here, why there, and they think that's the normal, so now they're talking to their spouse in that matter. Right?
And so what is that doing to the other spouse? That is pretty much trying to break their spirit.
Yeah, that's breaking. I think it breaks. I honestly feel like as a partner, I will be broken down. And this is something that I learned, like when we were not in the best terms. I used to say these things. I used to be like, well, you don't do this, you don't have that, you this, we don't this, and it was always don't, never, can't, this. And it got to the point that I know for you, you kind of were kind of down. Like, he was like, well, if she's saying I can't do all this, then
why are we together?
Like, why are we here? Why?
Right.
What's going on? So now my negative aura.
Let's stop right there.
Was coming onto him.
Let's start right there. Now, that's the main thing right there. The main point I just brought up. When you start saying those type of things, and the person is like, if I'm so bad, then why are you still here?
That's a good question.
Why are you still here? Or why are we both still here? And we're not trying to tell people, we are for divorces, but the reason why you asking that question because you really need to solve the problem.
And wait, and remember, it does agree in the Bible. Jesus Almighty gave the rule, okay, that if you are in an abusive scenario, which verbal is abusive, you can absolutely walk away. Okay. So I will say that. So side note, disclosure, we love marriage. We're, hey, marriage, let's fight for our marriage. But if it's an abusive, verbal, physical, mental, emotional, then no, I don't agree with it. Absolutely not. Like, yeah. I don't agree with any type of abuse. I would talk to women all the time, and I'm like, if he talks to you like this, he doesn't value you, he doesn't care for you, you're not even equally yoked, like he's talking trash about God or something like that, or barely being engaged with the family, and then and he might be the negative person, then I tell my ladies, like, it might be time for you to step away and walk away. And maybe get, seek counseling, of course, mm-hmm. and see where you guys can come to one, if possible. Because it is okay to maybe not come to one.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, and I wrote it on here, is one of my last quotes, are you in a fulfilled, joyful, successful marriage?
Right.
Like, are you? Are you in a fulfilled, successful, joyful marriage? Joy is a constant, permanent feeling. Not happy. Happy is on and off. You could be happy today, mad tomorrow.
And that's a decision.
And it's a decision. Look at you. So, what else did I put?
So, when I say that about the question, again, like I said, when it comes down to you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that, and you say, well, then why am I here? Are we digging deep into the problem?
No.
Or are we just letting it be that?
You're just walking away because you're getting pushed down. And this is when, as the other spouse, just for example, if it's me, right? If he's doing, you don't do this, you don't, because it used to be us. Brandon, there was a time, and we be transparent. There was a time I brought him down, he brought me down. But we learned, thankful to some mentors and, of course, God and church and counselors and things like that. We don't speak to each other like that. First of all, you're disrespecting your spouse, and you're not even fully submitting. It's just that's a whole nother conversation. And it got to the point that we were like, okay, so if we're not talking about the problem and we're both being negative, what are we doing?
Right.
And then that's when I was like, well, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
This is not the marriage that I thought I wanted to have and I was going to have. And we did discuss, okay, well, but then maybe we should not be together.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be to a point that we should not be at this level of connection because we're so distraught.
And we're toxic.
And then it becomes toxic and you start growing so many problems within, and then now the love is turning into dislike and then hatred. It goes to that level. It gets deep, right?
And so before, I know you're about to go into your next point, but before, so from a man's point of view, when a woman say, oh, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that, and you might say some really hurtful things to that man's pride and his ego, then he's like, in his mind, he's like, well, why don't I go get a woman who sees that I do this and do that?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's a reason to go out, but
you got to watch your words.
You got to watch your words.
So now the question is, how would So then how do I state that? If I'm not happy with what would you say? You're not doing something, right?
Yeah.
How do I, instead of being the negative spouse, how can we change that? Because at the end of the day, we're here to help for a solution.
For solutions,
right? So how do I fix that? What would be my solution? So I looked it up.
Okay.
I did a little bit of research.
Yeah.
So some solutions. You show empathy to the negative spouse. So, oh, you don't do this, you do that. You show empathy. You know, let's say it's the wife and the husband's going in. You say to the husband, hey, babe, I understand maybe you're frustrated. I understand, like, you're not happy with certain things that I'm not doing. And then look at the next part. Talk together to make a better solution. So you empathize and then you say, okay, you know what, babe? What can we do about this?
Now,
what can be the solution?
Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't understand empathy, that is pretty much listening and understanding the other person views and emotions on how they feel on that. That's not putting your own spin to it. That's you getting in within them and actually listening to the conversation and know what they really feeling and what they really are saying to you. Because the way something sounds when you ready for a rebuttal,
so
you're not listening.
You just, empathy. You just said understanding, right? I looked it up. You know, it's one thing now. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Right? The ability to understand. So if I am supposed to show empathy and I am seeing that Brandon is upset because, oh, babe, you know, you never cook. First, guys, never is a negative word. And this is one of the things that me and Brandon have been learning in the last, couple months in our journey of growth is we have taken out some of these words out of our vocabulary. So anything that has that negative connotation, we're taking it out. Never, can't, don't, won't, need, dislike, unhappy, anything with unhappy, ungrateful, any of that stuff we have been working on when it's about to, especially for me, when I'm about to be like, you need, I'll be like, so can you please do this? Or should, and we've been changing it with should instead of you need to go take a shower. Babe, maybe you should kind of go take a shower. It's not,
So need, I put it to this way to Jennifer, right? When I first started really discovering this, I said, need sounds like a hopeless word.
Yeah, and then when he said that, I was like, I don't want to sound hopeless. But if you think about it, it does. Like, need, like, you need to go do this. You need to go. And then, for me, it was my trigger. When he used to tell me, oh, you need, I used to be like, nah, don't talk to me like that. Because for me, this is me, not him. Me, when he was saying you need to do this, I felt like he was demanding me. I felt like he was trying to control over me. And you need to go do this. Like, when you little, you need it. So I told him, nah, we're not doing that. And we also are working on not using it with the boys. We're also working all this out with the boys. None of these negative words. So the empathetic spouse is when you're saying, oh, well, you never cook for me when I get home. So after spouse, empathetic. You know what, babe? I understand you're frustrated. You're kind of angry. I get it. I would be too if I was coming home and there's no food. The next part is talk about how can we solve this, right? So you know what, babe? Let's see what we could do. Can you show me how to cook a little better? Can you send me some videos of something you might like for me to learn how to cook? Or tell me what would I listen. I asked Brandon, hey, babe, just tell me what you want me to do. Because I'm not going to sit here and try to guess. Even though we've been together so long, I am not going to play the guessing game. Yes, I should know my spouse, but should is not exactly what he wants. And don't get me wrong, I'm 99.9% in my mind, I know Brendan is going to say, hey, babe, just make some spaghettis, for example. I know this. But just to be accurate, I ask, hey, so what should we do? What would you like for me to do, babe? What would you like? As a matter of fact, sometimes I even give him options. Should I do some tacos or should I go do the spaghettis? And I know he might just say spaghettis, but I'm still throwing it out there. So ladies, wives, take a little bit of wisdom. It's okay to just ask your husband, What do you want?
Especially
Even
when,
what?
especially when it's date night and y'all.
I was just about to say.
See, we in each other's mind. You see that?
I was just about to say, even when it comes down to the dirty dirt.
Or
okay?
date night.
No, date night should be the dirt, okay?
Or like date night, like
I know,
it's okay
I know. It could be like a little date night.
Yeah, and you want to go eat.
Could be maybe the aftermath, right? So no. So even if it's that, like even if it's for that, you know, I asked Brandon, I'm like, hey babe, what you want to do for date night? Like that's it. And I know some people are like, oh, you should be romantic and make it this. Yes, you can, often. But you don't have to be like that every time. Like, I'm okay with him asking me, because what if I wanted to go to the movies? And he's like, babe, we're about to go do this whole thing. And I'm like, I don't even want to do that. So we have to be real with our partner. So show empathy, talk to a better solution, call them out on it, which I just described. Point out the good. So point out the good. So if he's like, well, you never cook, and it's like, well, at least we got some food in the house.
Yeah.
Point out the positive.
In every bad situation,
there's a positive. Well, at least we got food. Shoot, at least you got a wife.
Mm-hmm.
There's some men out there that want a wife, that want to be married, that don't even have a girlfriend because the girlfriend done left them. Like, I could make up a whole story that I'd be like, Brandon, stop.
And that's the thing. When you're dealing with a negative spouse, that's one of the best rules, the number one rule that you can do with that spouse, to go ahead and start changing their mind. Always point out the good in what they see in the negative. It's always a good in the negative. Dig in there deep. And then also, when you do go through this in solutions, point the finger at yourself first. Before you say anything like, man, I wish you could clean the kitchen or something like that, right? You can say, you know what, babe, I know I've been slacking on the kitchen. I think we need to, work together on maybe days we can clean the kitchen, or maybe and I really haven't been, cleaning the bathroom as much husband, as I did.
You could put that pride down.
Yeah, I haven't really been cleaning the bathroom as much. I'm gonna take some initiative to clean the bathroom, and then where can you help me out on this? You know what I'm saying? Give
good.
them
so that's
the
next
option.
part. So that was the next solution.
Okay.
Have them talk. So have them talk it out, and then have them talk something quick when no bliss. So those were the things that I wrote down when it comes to that. I talked about the battery, and then the other big thing is, so write that solution down, guys. That's really helpful. I have on here, I'm living in gratefulness, and you are still negative in the energy and vibes in the home. So this is a big scenario. That's what I was thinking at the time, because when it comes to the negative spouse, the one that's not, what was that? The one that's not as negative, or the positive one, that one is more like on a grateful stuff, like, oh, I'm happy we're about to have date night, or I'm happy, just got home and I don't work tomorrow. You're on that grateful vibe, like those energies. What is that? You're on those grateful vibes and energies, and then the other person is like, no, but we need to work again to make more money, and it just brings it down, and you have to just work on continuing to kind of feed that vibe to your spouse. Like, man, let's be grateful. Like, switch it up. Kind of get that negative out of it. Like Brandon just explained, kind of just switch it up. I wanted to mention, which I looked it up, and I'm going to put it up here so you guys can hear what I have to say. Philippians, y'all already know, I had to go into the Bible real quick. Philippians 4:8. It goes into the negative attitude and thoughts to suck the joy out of the marriage. That's a prime example. And I put, why did you think so slow? So I'll go into the next one into the meantime. What do you think, babe?
Like you said, far as, the solutions, those are good solutions that you came up with.
I looked it up online.
Another thing I was also say is, this is the one thing too that a lot of marriages don't understand too. With the morning routine that me and Jen have been understanding, it's really, really powerful. And what I think about it is, first off, you need to have that independent time and that intimacy by yourself with God, or you know, just you got to be able to work on yourself. The first part of the day, it should be about growing yourself. The first part of the day should be about growing yourself. And when you're growing yourself, that right there gives you the opportunity to help somebody else.
Hey, y'all about to get a real deal business. Can you go? Okay, Francisco will get in trouble in a second. Francisco, get in your room, please, in your bed, please.
All right.
He's about to get knocked out. Y'all about to see the real deal. Negative real quick. Anyways.
So what I was saying is basically growing yourself. So for me to actually show Jen that love in the morning, right? I have to show myself that love in the morning. I got to start off the day because I got to take care of me at least that first hour to 30 minutes in the day and get my mind right to make sure I can love on my wife the right way that she need to be loved on throughout the whole day. Same for her. She even though she wakes up after me, she still need that time by herself, that intimacy with God to get her mind right, to also be able to show me the love just as well. So in the morning, the first thing you need to do is make sure you're doing that self-care. And once you start showing yourself self-care, self-love, gratitude, grateful for God, grateful being blessed, grateful for even waking up, then you're able to transfer that energy, that love to your spouse as well. Now we can start the day. You know what I mean? Now the day is ready to roll. You know what I mean? And then give them their space. Like even sometimes I might get up, and Jenna get up. We'll say our good mornings, whatever. And I still, even on the weekends, I'll give her hour. You know, I give her an hour to let her do what she got to do.
Or even if it's 30 minutes.
Or 30 minutes.
Okay, so I got it now. Philippians 4:8. I talked about the negative attitudes. So the Bible even goes into this. It says, 4:8 Philippians says, think about these things. And the main thing, it says, fix your thoughts on what is true and good and right. It says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there isn't any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise. So that was big, and it, you know, when I was looking this up, because it talks about like the negative mind, like it says fix your thoughts. Like we're not even going there, you know, when it comes to that person, you know, the spouse, and it can be hard. And one of the things that we have been working on that we think has been a huge help is what you listen to. You know, are you getting up and listening to, you know, positive affirmations? Are you getting up and you have to reprogram your brain? You know, even if you were brought up in a great environment, you still got to reprogram your brain into the positive, always the positive. Because as a human, negative can come in just like that.
Yep.
Oh, I can't do this. Just about yourself, not even your spouse. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, this is not going to work. Oh, I'm not going to get this. Oh, this is not good. Oh, every time. Think about it. The first thing, if someone says something to you, let's say someone calls you and there was an accident or something, the first thing is a negative thing. Why don't we think, oh, I'm just letting you know that someone hit the back of my car, but I'm good. But what do we think? Oh, somebody hit the back of the car. Now how are we going to pay for this? What about the insurance? Who are we going to call? Whose fault was it? The whole negative, it just happens. That's just life, right? But we have to work on intentionally having those positives. Someone hit your car. Oh, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't get hurt. The car's not totaled.
It wasn't meant for me to go where I was going that day.
It wasn't meant to, yeah, like so many different things. So maybe help your spouse with that. You know, like I know for us, when we're not in the best, we put on some great praise music. Or we'll put on, literally just go on YouTube. And these are great ideas as partners. Do it together. Go on YouTube and put positive affirmations. First thing in the morning, positive words. First thing in the morning, even if it's just looking at pictures of beaches. Because that's going to make you have a positive thing. Like, man, I want to be there. Man, well, you know, if you're the person that you're like, oh, I don't even want to watch this. I can't be on that beach. Listen, fix your thoughts.
Yes.
Go ahead, babe.
And you know, it's crazy because, like, you know, this was crazy. I just thought about this. when me and Jen first really got together and we first was married, you know the crazy thing, I'm thinking of it now. I used to wake up and turn on the news. You remember that?
I used to be so upset and angry. We would literally go through arguments because he was so obsessed and fixated on the news, like all the time. Like he would come home, the news. He would wake up, the news. And I'm like, I wasn't brought up like that. Even though Spanish people, like my grandparents, will watch noticias, the little news in Spanish, but it wasn't. That's all we watched. We would watch the novelas, the soap operas, and things like that. So for me, I'm like, yo, why are we just watching? I don't want to hear about 13 people getting shot on the corner gas station on the west side of Atlanta. Like, I don't really want to hear that, because you're not gonna turn the news on and be like, 5 people got promotions at this company and there's 13,000 jobs that grew. So now families are gonna be wealthier because they're believing in God more today.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen. And he used to do that. He used to be like, "Oh, babe, look what happened." I'm like, "Dude, I know it's gonna be bad because it's the news. That's what they get paid to do."
Or when you wake up and you grab your phone and you start scrolling. First thing you do, you scrolling through Instagram, you scrolling through Facebook. Now you seeing racial tension.
Listen,
it's a whole bunch of things that you got to do. So you got to start monitoring
your brain
and your thoughts and seeing what you're doing.
Okay, the last thing I want to say is these are 3 attitudes that can and will destroy your marriage. Bam. 3 attitudes that can and will destroy your marriage. Victim mentality. You're always the one that you feel like is always someone's coming at you. You're always offended. You're always, oh, you're blaming me. The blame game, hurt and pain is always you, right? The state of offense all the time. The second attitude, spouse as the scapegoat for life problems, right? So that's interesting because I didn't even think of it as such an attitude, but it's true. Like if you're always thinking it's your spouse's fault. Oh, well, we didn't go here because, he didn't work more hours and didn't have no money. Oh, well, we didn't go to this restaurant. Oh, because he ended up working late and we didn't get to go. Scapegoat as your spouse. That's the second attitude that can destroy your marriage, and it will. Right? It says on here, we can't use stress as justification mistreating our spouse. So because I'm angry at us not being able to go to dinner because he stayed working late, now I'm going to be stressed and treat him like crap. Oh, it's your fault. We didn't get to go. And this happens to everybody. This happens to all marriages. And you don't even think about it. Oh, it's your fault. You took forever, so we didn't get to go. Now we got to sit here and find out what we're doing. You didn't do nothing, and then spiral. Bam. That's killing your marriage. That is destroying your marriage, your connection, your oneness. Why is your spouse going to want to hang with you or be with you or be intimate with you when you just told him, because of you, all you, anything you, never you. He's like, it's my fault, we ain't doing nothing, so why even be there? I might as well just stay at work next time. The third one is resentment. We forgive your spouse how God forgives us. There's so many marriages that are continuously failing because we're being so resentful with our spouse. And anything, if he cheated, if you guys argued, if he said something mean to you, if he didn't do something, we're just resentful in our marriage the whole time. So now you're bringing that negative vibe. Now you're bringing in that attitude that's killing your marriage, right? Then I put, just a side note, we're not on the same wavelength, but maybe this is not correct. God ordained the spouse. I put that because I was just randomly thinking, and it's like maybe this is not correct. Maybe God didn't ordain this. It can happen. Sometimes people can marry the wrong person, and sometimes people don't want to talk about that. What are you thinking, babe? Because we're about to.
You point out some great points, and I really hope this has been very helpful for a lot of you guys that's on here, because like I said, we're talking about these conversations that don't get talked about in marriage, and you got to really find a solution.
Yeah, just have
you got to find a solution to these problems that you're having, far as who's the negative person.
You're not getting them.
So, and that's why I said we could change this. You can change this. Everything can change. And I guarantee once you start changing.
But do you want to change? And that's one of the questions I wrote down. Like,
well,
does your spouse even want to change?
So listen. So if it's the positive person in a relationship.
No, if it's the negative one.
Yeah, I know.
Like if you're telling me all the time, let's work this, let's do that, and I'm just like, no, this is what I feel, this is what I think, this is how I want it.
Well, for the positive person, stay positive. Don't let somebody destroy your happiness. You get what I'm saying? Just because if they want to soak in their negative sorrows and they want to do that, then that's the reason why they're getting sick all the time. That's the reason why
we don't want to, get into kind of these type of scenarios.
That's the reason why.
What Brandon is trying to explain is the negative energies and vibes and attitude causes negative results.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So
it's a little bit better.
So that's why they get the negative result. That's why they're like, man, on the way home, my tire went flat. Why? It went flat. You was negative all morning. Something was bound to happen to you. You've been negative all morning.
It's a big deal when, the type of ways we're speaking and talking to each other in the marriage. It can literally either bring your marriage up or bring your marriage down. Can you just go check them really quick? Because I'm about to So it's either, the marriage is going to go up or it's going to go down. Because we have to make sure that we're always keeping the vibes and energy up. If it's always an attitude, an argument, a situation, a problem, I ask myself, and I put it in my notes, is this the life that you really want to continue, and does God want this life for you? Do you guys really believe that God put somebody in your life to be unsuccessful, unfulfilled, unhappy forever? Something has to change. Someone has to change. Someone needs help. Something. And I'm not saying that we don't go through trials and tribulations to get a better marriage. I'm not saying that, because me and Brandon went through it. We went through a bad situation. We went through some hard times where we needed to kind of get back to God and kind of get back to one to really understand the growth and where we are now. But what I am not saying is 20 years unhappy and unfulfilled, 30 years unhappy and unfulfilled, 45 years unhappy and unfulfilled. That's what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, there has to be a solution to someone understanding, you understand each other, but you also lift each other up. So if you're always the one, think about this. We said this earlier. If you're always the one positive, your cup is going down. So now this spouse that wants to keep getting more water from you, it's like the plant. They want more water, but your cup is getting empty. So now you're draining, and now this spouse is just drinking it, but it's not filling it up. So he's drinking the water, but not filling it up. What's going to happen? You both are going to be on empty, and you guys, we have to work on just building each other up. That's why when I heard the YouTube one time, it was God First something YouTube, and Joyce Meyer, I think her name is, she said, if only relationships knew that 5 affirmations a day can save your marriage. And as soon as I heard that, boom, implemented into my marriage. I had to do it because I'm like, oh, it saves my marriage? I want to keep continuing to save my marriage. I'm not saying we were not saved, but why not learn more to make it better? So as soon as I told Brandon, hey babe, we got to start doing this like every day. Like actually I told him 10. I was like 10 a day. We're doing 10 every day. And at the beginning, because it was so random, Brandon be like, babe, that's 4. I just told you 4. Babe, that's 5. And I'm like, dude, we don't have to do it like that. Can it just be like, oh, you're so handsome. You don't have to be like, that was 1. No, but subconsciously 10, right? I told him 10, but it's really 5. So think about it. If your husband comes home and he's, oh, you never cook, you never this, you never that. Babe, you look so good. You look so nice. Like, did you have a great day at work? And that off tracks the whole negativeness. Now he's looking at you like, I just told her she can't cook, but she's responding with "I look good. How was my day?" So now he might be like, "It was all right," or "Why?" or something. Then you're like, "I had a great day. Mine was awesome."
Yeah, and I wonder. I'm wondering, are there still marriages that's waking up giving each other a kiss in the morning?
That's a good. You know what? That might be. Let me just write that down. That might be our next topic. Kisses in the morning, right?
Saying good morning, giving each other a kiss. Is that happening? Is that still happening?
Do y'all still kiss y'all spouse in the morning? Let us know, because I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, like, I want to know if that's still going on,
Oh, what I said today. Do you guys still... How often do y'all shower with your spouse?
Oh, yes.
I want to put this on Facebook. I'm going to ask this question. When the last
time you and your spouse...
Took a shower
together?
And how often? Yes. My cousin. I hope that's for the shower and the kisses. I would think that would be so.
Yes.
If it's just one, it's still better than none. So we have to keep that going. Like, I remember that a few weeks ago, my mother was like, "Oh, you're just so over your husband all the time. You're so obsessed. Leave him alone." And I was like, if I'm not, who will? Not in this life. So I'm like, no, I'm going to be all up. I'll be all up. Brandon knows. Sometimes he do be like, "All right, babe, like, you're in my face too much." But I'm going to take every moment that I can, because your spouse is not guaranteed tomorrow. Yeah. Shower together at least once a week. Oh, yes. See, that's why she my cousin. That's what I'm talking about.
Good.
Once a week, she might be doing better than us. Because Brandon be like, "Babe, I like my time. I like this, I like that." I'm like, "I don't care. Like, just call me when you're about to get out, and we can still hang out for a couple minutes." I like it because I like getting, like, personal. I'd be like, "Babe, I love you so much. You're the best thing in my life." I just get all up in my deep feelings. And then, of course, I like to grab.
But I invited you. I've been inviting you.
I like to grab all the things.
I've been inviting you for the show.
Yeah, you have been. You have invited me recently. And I was like, "Oh, are you sure?" Because I kind of knew he really wanted. But he really did. He was like, "No, come on, So that's so good. Look at my cousin. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm telling you. Listen, we need to get my cousin and her husband on one night, because they're like super, super goals. And it's okay. I believe it's okay that if you can have other spouses as also good mentors and guidance. Mm-hmm. Just because me and Brandon are doing lives, it doesn't mean my cousin is not going to teach me something that she's doing that I want to do better.
Right.
I have no problem with that. Like, we need to put the pride down. It's okay. Even if she's been married, let's say, for example, my friend was married 3 years and hers is popping. I want to know. Yeah. Or if it's been 30 years and it's popping, I want to know. My cousin, she tells me all the time, it's like almost 20-something years. Let's talk about it. Because tell me.
Because you can take something from each generation and implicate it into your marriage to keep it going, right? Mm-hmm. Styles upon styles, and it'll make you just have a longevity in your marriage, right? Yeah. Even what they did back in the day, some of those things work, and you took some of those things. But guess what? See, back in the day, like with our grandparents and stuff, they didn't have these type of resources that we got now, as far as talking about it and stuff. It was kind of more of a secretive stuff. Now we have the resource. What they always told us back in the day, it was about communication. My grandma and grandfather told me. So
speaking about secretive, do you think if someone is not doing good in their marriage, they should discuss it? They should bring it up. Or if you're getting separated, or if you're getting divorced, should you discuss that? And that might be another topic for us as well to get more into, because I've seen too many. And I don't mean it like, "Oh, y'all being nosy, get out of my business." I don't mean it in that way, but I mean it in, what if you could have helped that marriage? What if we could have gave them an extra solution? What if we could have been there for as a female or as a male to the partner? What if we could have prayed together? What we could have leaned together? I get so funny when I see, especially social media, it's like, "Oh, divorce after 5 years, or divorced, or going through it, just got separated," and it's like, and I know people are not gonna go on social media and blast like, "Hey, so today my husband and I got separated, we're gonna go through a divorce." I know that's not what we want to do, but I do believe on reaching out to other community marriages and maybe getting help versus blasting it on social media. Just got divorced, things are not going great, he has the kids for the weekend, and you're like, what? Like, where did that come from? Y'all was just happily ever after 2 months ago, and now you're saying you just got divorced.
Right.
You know? So, but anyways, that was just an extra little comment.
That's been our time.
Yes, it was supposed to be 45, but we went on a little bit longer.
Yes, that's been our time. Hey guys, I want to just thank y'all for tuning in.
And last thing, wait, babe, this is important.
Uh-oh.
Let's work on creating a happier future with our spouse.
Okay.
My friend gave me that. I was like, well, that's good. I need to write that down. Creating a happier future with your spouse, right? The positiveness, like you said, the affirmations, the inviting them to shower. Like, when's the last time, like Brian said, when's the last time you did it? Invite them to shower after this and be like, I know you're the negative one, but I still love you.
And you know, I always put this,
and if they're like, oh, I don't like that, see? That's the negative part, babe. I'm trying to spend some time with you in the shower, butt naked, okay? Cut it out.
But yeah.
Sorry.
And like I said, put God first in your marriage, you know. Certain things before you go to bed, you can ask your spouse. And it's general conversations. You ain't got to be all lovey-dovey every night before you go to bed. But you can ask questions like this. This is one thing I always ask Jen before we go to bed. I said, hey, babe, what did God show you today?
Yep. And then I also ask him every once in a while, have I been a good wife, or am I a good wife? Is there anything I can work with or work on? We might could do a call maybe about nightly routines or something as spouses, right? Anyways, all right, guys.
Thank y'all for
We're
tuning
also on
in.
our Facebook. On our YouTube, Barker Family. Go check us out. Go to our page, www.direct.me /
Barker Worldwide.
It's been so long.
Also, you know, you can follow us on Instagram, Marriage Porn, P.O.R.N.
He just likes to say
Pure, open, renew, and navigate. And I can still say it with the braces on.
Oh, right? Still say.
But keep following us, guys. Tune in. Are we on tomorrow, Miss Lady?
What's tomorrow? No, ain't nothing.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Thursday's ladies' night.
Oh yes.
What we gonna talk about?
Oh, what you gonna talk about?
I don't know.
She'll find something juicy for y'all guys to talk about.
Yeah, I might talk about these kisses. How many kisses do you give your husband a day?
Yeah, and I will be on Monday for men's. I got a couple of books that I'm reading, right, that I'm going through right now, and it's very powerful books. So I'm gonna have a very powerful men's talk on Monday, guys. Tune in on Mondays, fellas. We didn't do it this weekend because I know it's the 4th and everybody was doing a little thing. But this Monday coming up, tune in. We're going to get it live, fellas. It's just a gentleman's. It's a locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? I know the wives like to creep in a little bit and see what we talking about every
should make it like we should do like a summer thing.
But we gonna get it live on.
Good night, guys.
Monday.
Have a blessed one.
Thank you.
Stay
safe.
You
didn't pray.
Oh, let's pray. Okay, thank you, Jesus, for tonight. Thank you for all the people tuning in. Thank you for the day. Thank you for our spouses. And Lord, continue to show us how to be grateful, how to be thankful, and to teach each other to work together through positiveness. Get the negative out because it is killing the marriages, Lord. And keep the evil away. Thank you, Jesus, and for Brandon and for everything. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen, amen, amen.
Amen.
Thank y'all. Have a good one.
All right. Good night.
Nighty night.